Hello and welcome to Watch Our Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. This is part 2 of the recap. If you missed part 1, go check out your podcast feed. It's right there. And without further ado, let's get right back into the recap.
So we go to Jen and Ryan's, and she's kind of tidying up, and now it's the Dawson meeting. She's like, Dawson, would you sit down? Thank you so much. Thank you, Dawson. Thank you for being so much here at your home. And he's like, why do I have to sit down, Mom? She goes, because I haven't seen you. Okay. Are you in a hurry or something? He's like, no, I'm just curious what this talks about. I think that, well, this isn't her first, but she's having like a sit down on camera with the son. So that's not, he knows this isn't going to be good.
You know, when I was with all the girls in Sonoma, you came in past curfew and you woke everybody up. And I want to say, first of all, thank you so much. Thank you so much for waking us all up because, you know, when I say an extra little prayer for you every single night, I want to make sure that we all are aware that you are here and a part of our family. So you reminded us of that. So thank you so much. And I want you to be honest with me because I'll call you and say, hey, Doss, come home. We're going to make you dinner. And you'll say, fuck you, Mom. Fuck you in your fucking face. And fuck Ryan, too. And fuck that small house. I don't want to live in that fucking house. I want to live with Dad. Dad's so much better. And I'll say, thank you for being honest with me. It really means so much that you can express yourself so vividly to me. And then it'll be like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. And I'll be like, where are you? And you'll say, I'm in hell, which is probably where I'm going after all the things I say about you, and it's worth it. I'll go to hell 10 times over rather than go back to your house, Mom. And I'm like, wow. I just love the way you have such interesting uses of words. It's just so meaningful to me, Ryan. I mean, Dawson.
So he's doing this thing where she's like, why are you not coming home when you're supposed to? You know, like we gave you specific rules. And he's like, I just don't feel like I belong here. So I'll sit out in my car and be really sad that we're at Ryan's house. No, I'm sorry. Like part of it's like, okay, I get we went through a divorce. Your mom cheated on your dad. And now you're living with the guy who your mom cheated with. I get that that's not going to be easy. But staying out partying and then being like, it's because you divorced Dad. No. I'm sorry, sir. You're sitting in your car sad at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. No, I don't. No. Get your ass inside, sir. Yep. So, yeah, like you said, he basically is like, I love you, but I like Dad better. And he only has a 1-bedroom, but at least I have my space. Yeah, your dad's not going to give you any rules. And guess what? Your dad is going to give you rules the second you start pulling that shit on a regular basis. Right now, he's cool dad. But trust me, he's not going to be cool dad when you're stuck together in a 1-bedroom basement and you're acting like a jackass. You're going to have to do a lot of shit around that house. You think your mom's hard? She doesn't make you do anything. Your dad will.
Yeah, exactly. He probably just doesn't want to be around all the little kids. And he doesn't want to, and Ryan probably drives him nuts. I mean, for sure, like, I don't think I would want to be under the same roof as Ryan and his shirts. But, yeah, the 1-bedroom, that's going to get old real quickly.
Real quickly. No, thanks. Yeah, I think he thinks he's going to have a free pass because right now Dad's playing cool dad, where... Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, totally. Your mom's a bitch, but you can do whatever you want in my house. And it's not going to work like that on a full-time basis. Good luck with that, buddy. You'll be back.
Yeah, and Jen's basically like, I know I don't have these conversations to harp on you. I see myself so much in you, and I wanted to have fun, and I was kind of careless about school. And if someone made me realize at 17 the potential I had, which admittedly was very little, I wouldn't be sitting here at 46. Which is where I sit right now. I would have hustled. I would have done more. I would have been able to afford so many more caprese salads. And if I could instill that in you, my gosh, you could move the entire world, or at least, a very small part of the world.
He's like, no, you're gross. I'm leaving. Bye. And she's like, ah. And then they hug. So then we go to Katie's house, and she's talking about going to this party. And she's like, oh, my God, it's like a poolside chic party. And, it looks like Hugh Hefner's like Playboy Bunny house. It really is amazing. He has a waterfall fixture. And then we see his house. Everyone in this episode is making it seem like a pool with like a little waterfall coming out of the hot tub is a huge deal. Is it?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I see that. That's a big thing in Texas. I feel like everybody has a pool with, well, not everybody. I mean, I certainly don't, but I've seen a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in their circles, it seems like it's probably pretty standard. So I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like it would be when you're behind the gates in Orange County. It doesn't seem like it'd be like, oh my God, a water fix. Of course, it's Gina who's the most impressed. You're like, oh my God, they got a water fixture. She says that when she goes into public restrooms too. So, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and then Gina and Emily are getting ready, and then we go back to St. Louis, and we're at the comedy club, and the MC is like, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Shannon Storms Bador and Vicki Gunvalson." It's like, oh my goodness, we're wearing matching black sequin. What a fun show! Wow, people are already heading to the doors. That was very quick. We just got on stage too. I didn't even finish doing my jazz hands.
So then they start doing her show, and Vicky's like, you know what? I want a shot of tequila. And everyone's like, well, oh my God, she's going to have a shot. And then she's like, we're not driving tonight, right, Shannon? And then Shannon's like, I'll do a sip of tequila. And everyone's like, whoa, do a sip, yes.
All right, so now that we've warmed up the audience, I'm just gonna show up here on the big screen. Here's a picture I took of myself that night. Isn't that funny? Everyone's like, oh. So
they still woo. This audience will woo anything. You've got Shannon who got a drunk drive. She got a DUI 2 minutes ago, and you guys are like, a shot. Whoa, yes, Shannon. Nice audience, nice supportive audience, you bunch of fucking enablers. So then we go to Ryan and Jen's, and party prep. There's a churro bite, so I support this party. That's a good couple. Like, no matter what happens in the next couple of weeks with Ryan's criminality, he serves churros to his guests. So I say not guilty.
So Tamara shows up, and this one dog comes up and just starts barking viciously at her. And Jen's like, oh, just give it a minute. Like, it's going to happen 10 more times, then they'll settle down. Don't worry. It's just the way the dog is. But then, like, I think that Katie arrives next, and the dog just comes up and it's like, wagging its tail, like, hi. Yeah. It's like clearly the dog hates Tamara.
So then the dog just keeps barking at her, and Jen's like, don't worry, she's old. And Tamara goes, yeah, she's old like me. That's why I bark too. She goes, oh, no, not like you. I mean, well, she's very old. You're just kind of, you're just regular old. She's extremely old. Wait a minute.
and then look at this up. There's another dog named Willow, and Tamara looks at Willow. This dog like, and Tamara's like, well, how old's that one? And she's like, oh, she's not very old. And Tamara's like, what?
She goes,
it's not very old. She looks 120 years old. Jesus Christ.
It was like the Estelle Getty of dogs. It really was, because everyone likes to point out that Estelle Getty was the youngest member of the Golden Girls. So, like, a surprisingly young dog that looks like it's the oldest of all the dogs.
Yeah. So then let's see here. Gina comes over, and she's like, oh my God, like, look at this girl. You have a water feature in your backyard. Like, oh my God, the struggle is real, right, Jen? And so she's introducing people around to each other, and then Jen's dogs are everywhere and all over the furniture. And Katie's like, okay, I think you should get down now. And Emily goes, move it, Shelby. I'm just kidding. Oh, I hope this dog gets a follow-up storyline to this episode.
Tamara goes, she needs some Ozempic. Oh, I know where she can get some. You know what? Don't say that, because then people are going to think that you're on Ozempic. I'm not on Ozempic. That's why I have to wear jeans.
And that doesn't really land. She's like, damn it, am I starting my fight too soon? Urgh. So then Heather comes, and Tamara's like, there she is. And so everyone makes room, and they're like, wait, here, we'll move over. Gina goes, I'll make some room for you. And Heather's like, no, you're fine. I'll perch over here. Thank you.
I'm not going to put my designer dress on these Wayfair cushions. So then Emily's like, all right, well, let's go. Come on, let's grab tacos. So Jen's like, so Dawson was here last night, and he said for now he wants to stay at his dad's. And Ryan was kind of like, look, your mom and I want you here. This is home. If you're here, there are curfews and some guidelines. That's all we ask. Also, strict dress code. You have to wear a shirt that has 6 different patterns on it. So then you have to stay on top of your grades. Come home on time and let us know that you're going to be late. Oh, and if you feel like being part of an embezzling scheme with a Major League Baseball player, that's allowed.
Well, I think all kids are like that. Katerina tries coming home at 3 a.m. 3. She goes, well, I wasn't driving. And I go, well, it doesn't matter. Just being on the road. Cut to Shannon. Well, I'm not driving tonight. So the audience going, whoa.
Well, because when Heather's like, it doesn't matter being on the road. So Tamara goes, I mean, who was out at 3 a.m.? And then Emily goes, the DUIers. Yeah, the drunks. And then it cuts to Shannon being like, hey, everybody. So I got a DUI the other night. I was just trying to swerve to avoid Heather's child in the street. And I made a very horrible mistake, and I am working on myself. And I think it took me to that place to make changes for myself. And the audience cheers. But what I really liked was that when Shannon said, I did get arrested for a DUI, there's someone in the audience goes,
One person
clapping for that.
She got that one person clapping. That was so funny.
That they're like, I thought this was gonna be like a thing where we all cheer.
Yeah. So then, she does her. I had a DUI. I made a very horrible mistake, and I'm working on myself, and I'm making changes. I'm like, whoa! She's like, oh, thank you, audience, thank you so much. I love that. That's their bit. She comes out on stage. They order shots, and then she confesses to her DUI, says she's making changes, and then does a shot. It's my kind of show. You go, girl.
I'm making changes, and I'm realizing that despite everything I have told my daughters, it isn't their fault that I got the DUI. Yes, was I stressed that I have one daughter who decided to move to Paris and one daughter who decided to move to the liberal bastion that is New York City to pursue a career in fashion, and another daughter who moved all the way to Texas, leaving me all alone, home alone while I'm being sued and blackmailed by John Jansen? Is it their fault? No. Am I stressed about it? Yes. Could they have helped me more as daughters after everything I've given them? Yes. But it's not their fault. I need to process my feelings in a better way. It is definitely not their fault.
Whoa! Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Anyway, I am being blackmailed.
Whoa!
I didn't realize that was an applause moment, but that's fine.
I think it's very important for Shannon, especially to have the show as an outlet to show the people that attend. I'm good. I don't drink anymore. Well, I shouldn't say that she doesn't drink anymore. She drinks. She drinks. She doesn't drive though. Well, she drives not in the houses. She doesn't drive in the house. I'm fucking crazy. Okay.
So then they do like a little song and dance and everything. And Chen tells us, being able to go on the road, it saved me, which is very ironic if you really think about what you just said.
It's not saving anybody else. That's for damn sure.
The road is what almost killed you. So
she's like, wow, you know what I really need to help the whole world? Being on the road more is what I need. No, stay off the road. It's literally not legal for you to be on the road right now.
It was such an honor to bring down the house when we were on the road.
There is no limits to what we do on the road.
So Alexis arrives at this party, and she looks like a Whataburger logo. She's orange and white, and which is horrible because I love Whataburger. And this twit coming out dressed like a Whataburger. I was like, you don't get to just fucking try to be Whataburger to get me on your side. It's not going to work, lady.
Our note taker Nadine said that she resembled a backgammon board. I felt like that's a very accurate observation.
Yes. So then she seems miserable, right? She's doing that thing where she's like, hi, everyone. First of all, she's talking in a crazy accent, which I know she's always kind of had an accent, but it's like really nuts today. Not sure what's happening with her. And she's going out of her way to look super depressed so people will ask her why she's depressed. Just doing that whole thing.
And Heather's like, Alexis, thank you so much for coming to the GLAAD Awards. Just know that next time I invite you to an event, I will expect you to hold my cocktails.
And Alexis is like, well, it makes me feel that I can move forward in my life. Because I've got my battles. Why's she talking like that? And why are you equating your battles? Why are you equating your John Jansen stuff to the LGBTQIA stuff? Shut up, lady.
I wish you'd brought John, honestly, because it's such a personal thing. And I know how he supports you. He supports you, yes? Or does he have to blackmail you also to get his support?
And Alexis is just like, so he doesn't support you. So John Jansen was like, I'm not going to the fucking GLAAD Awards. Fuck no. Yeah, that's not great. Also not surprising at all. So then they're like, okay, what's wrong with you?
What's going on?
Yeah, your energy is like different. Like, did someone try to tell you had a curfew?
Were you going to tell us Point to the place on the champagne bottle where you were hurt.
And Alexis is like, I'm just exhausted, okay? It's been a long couple of days. And they're like, are you and John okay? She's like, yeah, John's great. It's just, I can't fake it with you girls. Each of you are truly my girls.
What happened? What happened? What happened?
Just give her a second. Give her a second. Give her a second. Not $1. Do not give her $1. If you give her $1, you're going to have to support her the rest of her life. Just let her work through this in a freeway. Under a freeway. Okay? All right, go ahead, Alexis.
No, are you okay? Is it a Shannon thing? Did Dawson do something? Did Dawson drive over your yard? Just, you know what? It's just like one of those legal battles, period. It's like, well, all I can assume is that the legal dispute has gotten more intensified and it's affected her emotionally. Is that what you were trying to say, Alexis? Let us help you out.
And Gina is like, I can totally understand how it's difficult to deal with someone's ex and like all the baggage and the problems. Certainly I can, I get it. But my instincts are to back away. So I don't understand why they just keep moving towards it, And Alexis is like, guys, can you see that I'm hurting? Can you see, guys, I'm hurting? It's me, Alexis Polino, when I'm hurting. Why is she talking like this?
Her Ohio accent was just like really coming through, and so Gina's like, "Oh my God, I could from the second that you walked through the door, and I'm telling you, it's like unfortunate that like that's all that got like that it's all getting in the way of all this. Like who you are is enough. It's like way enough." So what is this generic advice that she's putting out there? She's like, I don't know. I saw this calendar at Marshall's and that.
Yeah, she's talking like the signs in her house. It's like laundry, kitchen, home is where the food is,
Gather,
hang
live,
in
laugh,
there.
love.
Just hang in there. Paris, 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 Paris,
She just took all the generic advice she saw branded on platters,
home good shit, yeah,
margarita glasses.
So Alexis is like, I told Johnny, I was like, Johnny, we should have met 5 years ago. 5 years later, we just met too soon, Johnny. We met too soon.
And she says how she just lost her mom, broke up with her fiance, and there's like lots of baggage everywhere she goes with Shannon. She goes, you know what? This is just like more than I thought I was going to be able to take on. And she goes, I don't know how to get out of it unless I just walk away from it. But breaking up with Johnny J is not an option.
Why?
What
do they have on
also,
you?
What are you in the, like, what is the issue here? What is the issue here? You found a guy that you're like in love with. You knew all the risks going into it. What's the problem?
I think the problem is it's starting to backfire. Their plan is backfiring on them. The cast isn't supporting this like blackmail of Shannon. And now they thought they were going to be this smashing success and become this power couple. And now it's backfiring and they're freaking out. And John is being an asshole and like refusing to drop it or make it better. And she's stuck in a bad place now, That's what you get. Play stupid games with stupid prizes, bitch. So she's still being like kind of elusive. She's not really admitting anything. And Emily's like, well, I'm honestly relieved that Shannon's not here tonight because I'm like, we can still have a good night. But then this is wackadoodle. It's wackadoodle town.
I got a ticket to the wrong place. I wanted a ticket to girls' night, not fucking Whacktown. I was like, okay.
And Tamara goes,
yeah, John has screaming
soon.
Crazy people.
I'm like, okay, you two. You are the ones who started this whole thing. Tamara, you're the one who brought on Alexis. You're the one who's been supporting Alexis. You're the one who's been gassing up Alexis. And Emily, who the fuck are you to say that a party is for girls' night when you're about to start sobbing and ruin the entire party?
I know.
Fucking hypocrite.
Emily's about to just totally destroy this night, and she's like, I want it to be girls' night. So
she's not the one to have the fight. Alexis is taking the spotlight.
Yeah, that's I think that what it is. And Alexis is not making any sense. So she's like, I am literally, it's like a lot. I just want to have fun with everyone tonight. And Gina's like, can you rally? Can you help me? Yeah, but like I can help you, I promise you, but like you want to go to the bathroom?
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
So they go off, they're going to like touch up and like gather. Because at this point, like Alexis, all her makeup has come off. She's got bags under her eyes. Like something happened. She had clearly had like a sobbing fit that they cut out. So they go up to clean up and everything and make themselves pretty again. And then Emily and Tamara are in the kitchen. So they like hide behind the kitchen island because they're like, oh my God, hi, they don't see us. Let's be wacky.
And so, they're being dicks, which I like because it's Alexis, but hypocrites. So then Jen brings out a giant Jenga game because you know what real friends do? They pull out games because they have nothing to say to each other. So Emily and Tamara are still wackily sneaking around, trying to avoid Alexis's eyes, And then Jen...
Heather's like...
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Heather's like, is this a mean game? I don't want to do a mean game. Because, Heather actually has, on this show, a history with issues with board games. Let's never forget the Cards Against Humanity deck that she accused.
Oh, yeah.
Accused Noella of being, of
giving her child pornography.
Pornography.
Mm-hmm.
You gave my children pornography. They are going to be future GLAAD icons. How could you do this?
She's like, yeah, leave it up to you to have the first LGBTQ plus children that aren't fun.
I know. It's too precious to play Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah. So they're going to play Jenga. And it's like a truth or dare Jenga or whatever. So then Alexis comes back and she's like, I recollected. I'm ready. I'm ready to play. It's like, you recollected? What'd you snort the counter up? What? She comes back a totally different person. So whatever she did in there, puff, puff, give.
You know what? Jen has dogs. I'm sure there's a muzzle around here somewhere. I wish she would just get it and smack it on Alexis. Ah. So Jen's like, okay, everyone, Jenga time. It's gonna be really fun. Alexis, you go first. You're having a night, so just pull a block, and it's like just like a truth or dare. Just do what it says. So she pulls a block and it says, "Who do you hate?" Which is the most. Tell me you're a Tamara Jenga block without telling me you're a Tamara Jenga block.
Who do you wish was dead right now?
So it says, she goes, who wrote this? Me. I wrote it. Who do you hate? Is it Shannon? It's Shannon. Don't even say it. It's Shannon. No, I hate the devil. Fuck you, devil. You're going into the fire. And then she throws the Jenga block into like the fake fire. It's like one of those like not real fire. It's a fire, but not real.
Heather's like, that's
no.
not a real fire. You can't do that. You can't do that. Get it?
No, since we're at Jen's house, you have to throw that into the trash can that has the fire in it. Okay. Also known as her home heating system.
And Gina gets the one that's like,
oh my God, of course I get this one. How big is this deck? Oh my God. Show a flashback of it.
So we see a flashback of Shannon going,
oh, well, let's talk about Travis and his tiny penis.
It's big enough. It's big enough.
So now Heather has to bark like a dog, and she does it. And Tamara's like,
no, you gotta do the no pause, bitch.
and so she kind of does it. And of course, she's the snottiest little dog ever. She's like,
Yip, yip.
Yeah, she does the thing
Yip,
like
yip.
this with her hands.
her hands
I
like,
learned this at the Syracuse School of Acting and Theater.
and then Katie's like, oh my God, my block says, show me your butthole. And they're kind of Tamara, because of course that's from Tamara, because that's what she does. It's like Tamara.
Yeah.
So it's like if she's not starting shit, she'll literally take a shit on the ground or put her finger up a butthole. It's class.
Wait, no, this block here says, show me your something on your outfit that's made of cashmere. Who wrote this? It's like Heather Dubrow. Show me your Veuve Cloquet.
Show me the most expensive bottle of Veuve in the world. Oh, you can't. Sorry, you lose.
What's your favorite body part to put caviar onto?
So Katie does the butthole thing. Tam's like, and then Tamara's Jenga block is like, take off your pants and pee in the yard, which she does. I mean,
which feels like it's an Emily block, and Tamara like just then squats, and then she just smiles at everyone and pees. But the thing is that she just pees where they're all sitting. She doesn't like go off to an area to pee. She just pees next to everyone, and she just has this look on her face like. It was so disturbing.
I don't know. I don't understand why that's funny in this group. And I'm not like a huge prude about stuff, but like my friend just like squatting and peeing on my pool side, I don't think I would like that. I feel like I would like that.
So And then they're taking like the pool water and they're like splashing it on it to clean it. It was just-
Yeah, no thanks. So then they start talking about the fashion line. So Tamara, and of course it's Tamara because she knows what's coming, right? So it's like,
So, Heather, when's the fashion line coming out? You and Susan Bender. You and Susan, whatever Shannon's probably on right now in St. Louis.
Oh, a couple of months from now. It's not like a big deal. It's a very limited thing, only for very wealthy people. So you guys don't have to worry about it.
can I ask
And
you a
Emily's like,
question? Can I ask you a question?
I suppose.
So when you asked for measurements and when you texted us and told us the things to bring, you asked me to bring jeans. So when I got there, I thought everybody was bringing jeans. And she's like, no. Everyone had different things.
Question for the group. Are we just going to let Emily keep saying measurements or no? Okay, sure. We'll just move on. Well, what bothered me and what was hurtful to me was that when I realized when we all walked out at the end that I was the only one that didn't have anything on by Susan Bender and I had to bring my own pants. And Heather goes,
First person
didn't
ever
know
complained
that.
that they didn't get to wear Susan Bender, by the way. Sorry, go ahead.
I didn't know that, but I also thought it was incredibly funny. So thank you, Emily. Just no, but I actually had a little moment where I went into the bathroom and I cried a little bit. I know I was in the next all over, and every time you sobbed, I went ha 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 ha.
I was actually in the stall next to you. I recorded it, and it's now my ringtone. Hold on. Terry's calling. Terry, can I call you right back? Okay. Love you too. All right. Stay thin. Stay thin.
You
were
did
saying?
have to actually. Many people noticed you crying in the bathroom, and I got in trouble with Susan Bender because apparently your only Susan Bender models were allowed in that bathroom. So that was unfortunate that you went in there.
And Tamara's like, why are you crying, stupid? And she's like, because I felt singled out. Like I was the girl who couldn't fit into pants that everybody else had on. As someone who's been singling someone out for being the poor one all season, I feel like literally nothing for you right now. I can't. I'm so sorry. I'm sure this is a serious issue for you, but you've been a dick this entire season, and now you don't get to cry sensitivity all of a sudden and expect me to cry. I won't do it. I will not do it.
Emily, no, you were not singled out for being the girl who couldn't fit into the pants that everyone else had on. You were singled out for being the only one who couldn't wear Susan Bender. That's all. It was just fun for me, but you weren't being singled out. She goes, well, it really killed me. I am so sorry.
So
Sorry,
Alexis,
what was the issue?
Alexis has her arm around Emily, and Emily's like, I just was singled out. Like I wasn't as I mean, she just said sorry. So but Emily's like not getting what she wants. So she's like, yeah, I mean, I feel like I was singled out, like I wasn't as small as everyone else. And Tamara's like, yeah, I don't think that Heather would do that. And Heather goes, I mean, Emily has a great body. Let's see clips to prove it. And then we see clips of Heather going, wow, you've got a great butt. And by great, I mean gigantic. Wow, what's it like having nature on your back? Look at that moon. Am I right, everyone?
Wow, this is a real Snuffleupagus body. I'm so envious. By the way, I love Tamara saying, I don't think Heather would ever do that, when all of last season was Tamara being like, Heather called us all losers. She called us all losers, everyone. Everyone, she called us losers. Now Tamara's suddenly like, no, Heather would never do that.
Right.
So Heather is saying that she doesn't understand why all these insecurities are coming out towards her. And Heather's like, Emily, I would never do that, which is very Kyle Richards' way of apologizing. I would never do that. But I do think in this moment, at this time, at this point in the discussion, Heather is genuinely saying, I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize, And she's like, no, I'm just saying, I just wanted you to have, I'm trying to explain, is this how I felt? And Heather's like, no, I wanted you to have 3 changes. I know, but I know you wouldn't do anything malicious. I never think that about you, but I worked so hard for the past 15 months to lose weight. And no, I thought I was giving you a starring role. I'm just so sad that you feel that way. Some girls only had 2 changes, but you had 3 changes, Emily.
She's like, I gave you 3 costume changes, Emily. That's how much I liked you. Now, of course, only half of them were actually Susan Bender clothes.
And one of them was into a waitress uniform, and you did do a very bad job of passing around hors d'oeuvres.
And so Emily's like, well, I know. And so Heather raises her hand to silence her because Heather's getting mad now. She's like, my turn. It's like, uh-oh.
As soon as Heather does that, it's like, you were actually doing really well, Heather, but the moment she goes, my turn.
This was the turn. This was your turn because you were doing okay in this, and Emily is like hammering it so hard. You said you're sorry, and Emily's still hammering it. If you had just stayed quiet and just kept saying, I didn't mean it, and I'm so sorry, and Emily kept hounding and hounding, Emily would have looked like an asshole. But you just couldn't. You're too thin-skinned, man.
When Heather goes, my turn, it's her way of saying, like, you're going to try to make me look like an insensitive prick on TV, and I'm not going to allow that to happen. So what I'm going to do instead is be an insensitive prick on TV.
Yes.
So she's like,
but on my own terms. Like, if you think I'm a bitch, I'm going to be a bitch on my terms. Bitch.
I wanted to make sure that you felt like a fucking star by wearing your own blousy wardrobe at my fashion show. To show that you're a star in someone's eyes, maybe not ours.
And Emily's like, well, I didn't feel good in the dress because Alexis was in the same dress. And Katie's like, oh, on top of a size 12 dress, because she said Alexis was given a size 2 dress and she was given a size 12 dress. And Heather's like, well, that's not my fault. Like, how's that? Okay, well, here's my question with this. If you were given a size 12, is that your size? I mean, was that the size dress that you sent in your sizes? So I'm confused about why, like, are you accusing them of changing the numbers on the dress? Like, are you saying that you asked for a size 8 and she put size 12 on your size 8? Like, what's the accusation? Because I'm making jokes, but I'm also confused about what the accusation is.
Yes, and I'm not sure either. And then Heather tells us, and this felt cold, but I wonder if it really is as cold as it sounds, but it felt cold. She goes, I didn't size them. They gave me their measurements, not measurements, and I sent them to Susan Bender, and they chose the appropriate size. And I have news for you. The dress was tight on Emily. It wasn't too big. I was like, ooh.
Well, yeah, I was like, oh my God. And then they show a clip of Emily doing kind of the modeling or whatever, but they didn't show a dress. I think this is where they showed the black t-shirt and black jeans part or whatever. And I think she meant it was like form fitting. It wasn't even a loose outfit. So I don't know why she's acting like I gave her some potato sack to wear, like it was form fitting.
Right.
But no matter what she actually meant, Heather is not stupid, and she knows better than to say it was tight on her in a fight about someone feeling
the Real Housewives.
I mean, it's like a snuffleupagus thing, and I think we're giving Heather way too much grace in general when she should know better than to do that. At this point, you're just an asshole. Whether you meant it that way or not, you should fucking know better than to use language like that. When you're talking about someone's weight, you're an asshole. My God.
It's going to come back at the reunion. Emily's going to be like, for you to sit up there and say, oh, the dress was tight on her. The dress wasn't too big. Emily is going to milk this too. But yeah, if you say
Emily's
the dress was
milk
tight
it
on someone, if you say, like on Real Housewives, if you say the dress was tight on fill in the blank, oh, watch out.
You're in trouble. And, Emily is going to do kind of milk it and play the victim. But when someone has something like this, it is kind of a legit thing. So even if you think they're milking it, body issues and stuff like that, that's a legit thing. So even if I think Emily's kind of milking it, which I do because she's Emily, I would be like, you know what? I'm sorry, period. I wouldn't even just keep going. Just say you're sorry, and that's it. You're never going to win this one because it's coming down to someone's like deep-rooted insecurities that have nothing to do with you. So just say you're sorry and try and make it okay. You idiot, Heather. Oh my God. It was tight on her, so whatever. It's like, wow, nice little dig in there while you're trying to get out of a fat-shaming accusation. You fucking nitwit.
So Emily's like, well, why don't you ever sit back and say, you know what, Emily, I didn't think of it like that. She goes, I just did say that. She goes, and Alexis is like, you know what, Heather did say that. And Emily's like, you're not, you're being rude. And Heather's like, I said it. And Alexis stands up all mad. She goes, and now you're claiming me about comparing me to you. Is that what you're doing? And
she's saying you're complaining about her comparing me because she said, I had to stand next to Alexis. She goes, what are you talking about? And Katie goes, oh my God. Like, this fight is so stupid. They're going, you're hot. What? You mean I'm ugly? No, I mean you're hot. You're saying I'm ugly? No. And I'm good because that is kind of what this fight looks like. So Alexis is like, you just said because you're next to me in the dress, I did nothing in this at all. And she's like, oh, I never said you did. What are you doing? And Heather's like, I apologize. I've said all those things, but you want to keep coming for me now? You want to keep coming for me now? I feel like the last donut in a box.
Also, by the way, don't forget some of the greater context of this fight. Not to defend Heather, but Emily has a history of always trying to nail Heather to a cross over everything. And so Heather's automatically like, whoa, like, I know what you're trying to do here. You're trying to do the classic Emily thing. I've been empathetic to you, but that don't push it, you know? But I do, by the way, I will say, I actually agree with you that I actually fully understand why Emily has been triggered by all this, why it's hurting her, it's why it's making her spiral. So it all makes 100% sense. I think we've actually all been there in those moments. But right now it seems like there's no answer that Heather could give that would make Emily feel happy, because it's like, I guess, does Emily want Heather to acknowledge that Heather just was not thinking about Emily on a certain level, which probably just gets back to her mom issues of being neglected and unthought of and not considered.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're going to have the housewives do a fashion show and publicize your thing for money, then you should make sure, even if Susan Bender doesn't sell that size, which is probably what she's going to say, she's probably going to say something at the reunion like, I get it, you've lost a lot of weight. I'm not sitting here judging your weight. I love you the same whether you're thin or whether you're bigger. You're the one with an issue with your weight, not me. Yeah. But the fact is, if you are a certain size, maybe the designer doesn't have that size. Maybe she doesn't sell that size. But if you're going to, the argument to that fake, that made up scenario would be, listen, if you're going to have me publicize your thing at a Real Housewives televised event that you're going to basically be profiting off of, you at least need to have my size there. That's shitty that you wouldn't make sure that I'm not accommodated, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the truth is, it would have been 10 times more, I think, embarrassing or more hurtful if Heather said, well, you had to bring your jeans because they didn't have your size. That actually lands way worse.
She says it. I'll bet that's what she says at the reunion. Like, it's not my fault. She literally, that's not a size that we make or something. Or Susan Bender didn't have that size, you know?
Yeah. And then she'll probably say, but it was great that you were there because it shows that even people your size can incorporate some Susan Bender elements into your moo-moos.
Listen, we just wanted you to really highlight how much we care about big people, that you can wear a moo-moo with a Susan Bender necklace.
At work.
Just add a couple of chains, add a couple of links to the chain and boom, you're ready to go.
Yeah, this is just like this is actually, I actually think it's a very fascinating argument, but it's a disaster. And then
I mean, Alexis, it kind of is, because look, I mean, I have weight. I talk about my issues all the time on here, and I do take weight management drugs to help me and stuff. And I really realize how on the edge I am of always gaining the 150 pounds I lost back in 2 seconds. Like, if I have a carton, if I taste ice cream, I'm like a crackhead. I will be back on that binging ice cream. Like the other day I tasted Starburst and they were so good. I had 4 packages. Like, even though I'm on medication, like, I still have whatever disorder is in me that will try and find ways around the medication. And the whole point of what I'm saying is that I could go back any second. You're never safe to the point, if you have a severe binge disorder or weight problem or something, you're never at the point where you can just be like, oh, it's solved. I lost some weight and it's over now. Because whatever insecurities that caused that in the first place are there. And you can work on them, but it's something you deal with for your whole life. And I'm not saying it's hopeless. I'm just saying that something that's constantly there and it's constantly on your mind and you're not really ever going to win it. And so there's always a fear of am I going to go back there tomorrow and what will people think? And am I more valid now in people's minds, or am I not valid enough because I haven't lost enough weight? There's all that clusterfuck. And then there's going into a store that you've always shot. Even for me, it was just Old Navy. It's like you go into the Old Navy and that was my refuge where I could always find my clothes. And then they were like, no, we're only going to go up to a waist size 38. And then you have to special order. I couldn't even buy them anymore for a really long time. And it does hurt, but who am I going to cry to? Old Navy. Part of it for me was just well, this sucks, but I don't know. It's like it's so much clusterfuck to work through in your head, and it just never becomes okay. And Heather has never talked about eating disorders or anything else, but we do know that she looks like a character from Nightmare on Christmas, and she sells fake diet books like the Atkins diet, where her and Terry were trying to do that like rip off of the Atkins diet and trying to profit off of that. So we know that diet is like a big thing on her mind, obviously, and she should have the sensitivity to know better when someone is being triggered about weight issues, especially with daughters and stuff. She should know what is going on, and she should have the sensitivity to back up. But instead, she gets defensive and proves that at the end of the day, you get nothing for nothing. She's still a giant asshole, a giant asshole.
But I also think that this was like a perfect storm of Emily's insecurities and issues. Like in many ways, this wasn't even about Heather. I think Heather really does remind Emily of her mother. Like Emily constantly is triggered by Heather. There's the way, like her big issue with Heather is often being dismissed by Heather. And Emily has an unfortunately very well documented on the show issue with her mother not being there, her mother not being present, Emily being a latchkey kid, having to make her own lunches, yada, yada, yada. But as a result, anytime Heather does something that shows a lack of care and regard for Emily, it brings back all her mommy issues. And so that gets whipped up. But here you have that coming into play in addition to her body issues that she has and the frustration of, I've been working so hard. And here I had a moment where I was like excited to sort of like show it off or to live in that feeling or feel like I've moved the goalpost a little bit. And instead she's sort of brought back as if like none of this had even mattered. So this is like a perfect storm for Emily. And Heather is just not the person to
she's not the person to come to for a hug. You know what I mean?
She's not going to give you that hug in the way that you want.
She's not the person
whatever you want from Heather
for a hug. And at the end of the, I hate that I'm saying at the end of the day.
We also have Heather's mom. By the way, we got that beautiful glimpse into what Heather grew up with her mom, and that is now also coming through in this scene too, which is like, I'm sure her mom was like, what are you talking about? You're going to complain to me after everything I've done for you? No, that's it. I made you a star, Heather.
And another thing, we've seen so much of Emily's kind of journey on this show of like being like, I love my weight and I'm different and I'm really comfortable with my body. I make sandwiches in my purse jokes and stuff like that, to really going the opposite direction and not to say that you're not proud because you lose weight, but we've just seen many different steps of her journey is all I'm saying. But as someone who's on that journey, you can never do it for the validation of other people, and she's making a huge mistake here, and she can't keep doing that. Like, you can't just keep losing weight and be like, well, why aren't people treating, but why isn't this changing how people treat me, and I should be treated better because of all of this work that I put in. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, who cares what fucking people think? You have to do it for yourself. You can't do it for the validation of other people,
No, you're right. I think she needs therapy, actually. I think this is the big takeaway. She really needs to speak to a professional about all these issues, because it's not healthy to they're eating her up inside.
Oh, no pun intended. The great thing about all this is it leads to the best, most redeeming Emily scene in a long time. So this fight keeps going on, and Heather's like, I hurt you and I just apologized to you. And she's like, this is not an apology. And Alexis goes, you did apologize, Heather. And she goes, you shut up. My God. And she goes, did you just tell me to shut up? And she's like, yes. And she goes, but you're the one. So now Alexis gets a chance to fight. So she starts screaming at Emily about how she brought her into it. And she's like, I'm not going to shut up. And Emily goes, you wackadoodle. You've been a wackadoodle all night.
Kitty goes, maybe I should have gone to Shannon's show instead. And he goes, well, that was bullshit. So and then Katie just talks about how Heather gets really defensive when she's not painted in a perfect light, which is true. And Heather's like, not okay. And Tom's like, yeah, not okay, bitch. Instead of just listening and apologizing and moving on, she makes it about her. So then Emily goes up to Heather and she goes, can I just talk to you, please? Just you and me, please. Well, you were the one who wanted to talk about it in front of everyone. No. Do you want to yell? Do you want to do that? She's like, I'm just asking you to have a conversation between the two of us.
So they start talking over each other, and Heather points her finger. She's like, "And you," you know how Heather does that. She bends her finger like this, and then she points it right in your face. Oh, and she starts. And then Emily grabs her hand and throws it down. Which on any other show that would have led to a fist fight. You know what I mean? If this was Jersey, yeah, she was like, "Don't you fucking put your finger in my face." She's like, "Don't point your finger at me." She's like, "You want to go have a conversation?" And she's like, "You stop being rude." It's like, "You're being rude. You're cold and you're condescending. That is my nature. How dare
Thank you very much. Thank you." Her mom's like, "I raised you well." So
Her
Heather's
mom's
Emily,
like, and she thinks I'm not proud of her.
I'm asking you to have a conversation with me. Could you be quiet for 1 second? No, fuck off.
So she's like, "All right." So now Alexis and Gina are arguing, and then Alexis is like, "She just brought me into that," and Emily's like, "I didn't bring anybody into it. It was Heather and me. She won't even talk because now she's pissed." And Alexis goes, "I am at my lowest point." Alexis still trying to make it about her. No one cares about you, Alexis. You fucking try hard.
She gave you a compliment right now. She complimented you. And you said, "How dare you put me in a dress next to Alexis?"
That's not what I said.
When
You know,
she
that
said
is
that,
like-
I
it's
started
like a
cracking
compliment.
up.
It's a
You
compliment,
said, "How dare you
Alexis."
put me in a dress next to Alexis?"
Alexis goes, "I am already broken. I am a broken bird."
Darling, come to me, my little broke. Ooh, actually, you're disgusting. Go away. It's the first broken bird Lisa Vanderpump ever turns away.
Yeah. And Emily goes, "Oh my gosh." She's like, "I am already broken. You know, I just took the hanger and put the outfit on my body and somehow I'm the one at fault." So Gina's like,
You know what? She's like saying that you're so beautiful. Like, you're so beautiful, you made her feel insecure. That's all she's saying. You're gorgeous.
But I'm already going through the shit. And Emily's like, "Oh my God, all I can think is she looks like a big fucking giraffe. She's got this striped tight dress. I need a zookeeper to capture this thing and take it to the Looney Zoo."
so Jen, they're just like more arguing, and Tamara's like,
You did nothing wrong. This is not okay. It's not fucking okay. She did this big old charity event fashion show. Do you really think she's going to have time to be like, let me sing about Emily and Fat Shamer? That's not Heather's character. I mean, I might do that, batch, but that's not Heather's character.
And then Gina's like,
Can I give you a hug? Because that's a thing for you. You know, I feel bad, you know, because like she said all the right things, but like because she feels like she's on the defense, like rather than seeing you in your heart, like, you know, I feel bad for you, Emily.
she really said, "I feel bad." So Heather goes,
I just feel, I feel me.
So Heather goes, "Tamara, are you telling me that when I am raising money for family equality, that she is in the bathroom crying because I made her wear jeans? Are you telling me that's what happened?" Tamara's like,
Yeah, she's like, yeah, there's bigger fish to fry in the world, babe.
"Well, yes, and maybe that's Emily's problem." So Alexis is
"Maybe
like,
she should find more fish to grill."
"Steam it." So Alexis is like,
And by the way, and then she throws me into it at my lowest point. She's like, "Oh, you put me in a dress next to her. I don't know. Like, do you understand? I'm broken right now, everyone."
And Gina's like,
We're just off as a group, you know? Is there like a fucking cloud over us or some shit?
and
Yes,
so
it's called Gina. It's like, I'm surprised that Gina is not throwing little spiky balls at them. You're in such a cloud.
So Gina and Emily are deciding that they're going to leave. And Emily's like, "And Heather, you don't have to look at me like that." And she goes, "I'm upset. I can look at you like this because I'm upset." She goes, "Well, I'm upset too. But I didn't do anything to you, Emily." "I didn't say you did anything. But when I started to say what I wanted to say, you got pissed at me."
No, you kept going.
I didn't ask you, Alexis. Shut the fuck up.
And Alexis is like, "I don't give a shit what you say." She goes, "You're not involved in this. You're just a friend. Shut the fuck up, Alexis." Yes,
That's
bringing out the
amazing.
friend of card. Yes,
I love that power play. And also, I think I had mused online or on the podcast, like, did she not know she was a friend of at this point? Was she still like in contention to be a full-time cast member? But this cements it that it was clear that she was a friend of. And Emily, you pulling the status card when Emily really is the most friend of main housewife of all time. So Emily just
yeah. I
storms
think
right
Alexis
into
was
that.
going to be a friend the whole time because I don't think that she was allowed to film her children. right? Because we haven't seen her children, so I'm guessing
She
that's it.
doesn't even really talk about what's going on with her children. She just alludes to it, and you just have to know that she has a trans child, for instance. So Alexis is like, she's like, "You're right, Emily. I am a friend. I am a true friend at her lowest, most brokenest point. So you know what, Emily? You can fuck off."
And Gina goes, "Well, thanks. I had a great time." And Emily just walks off going, "Shut up, Alexis. Go fuck John some more, you friggin' idiot." Dead.
Hilarious.
I died.
That was definitely Emily's best moment of the season. And they're often these drunk moments of Emily's where she just starts screaming and crying over unreasonable. Well, this one maybe wasn't that unreasonable, but over things is so funny. I will never forget the one where she left Shannon, or it was Heather's too, wasn't it? Heather's house where she left drunk and screaming. And then she's like, "Shane, you want to do anal later?"
And then there was that she was yelling at Kelly Dodd when Kelly Dodd called Shane a dork or something. You know, when Emily loses her marbles, it's pretty great. It's like moments like that, even though I just called her the most like friend of housewife of all time, like, you know, there always comes a point in every season where I say, you know what, Emily has earned her right to be on this show.
Yeah, but it's only like 2 episodes a season. Like you can't, you know, it needs to be more. I need you to just up your average. That's what I'm saying.
I do think that like Emily
when it's good, it's good.
Emily and Gina, I feel like every year I shit on them, but I mean they're housewives. They made it. They did it. They're here.
They made it. You guys, you did it. All right, everybody. Well, that brings us to the end of this lovely episode. Join us next week. We'll be back next week for more Crappens. Monday will be episode 3 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. That's going to be then. And then we're just going to keep on rolling through. We sure love you guys. Check out our Patreon for this week's bonus episode and for all of our videos. And we sure love you. And we'll talk to you next time. Okay.
Bye. Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas. Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know Your Worth with Jason Kurth.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's our favorite streamer, Caroline Peacock.
She's a total knockout. It's Katie Manock. Kristen the Piston Anderson. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino.
Let's get feely with Maggie Sheely.
Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
Cast a Spell with Shannon Spellman. The Bay Area Betches. Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall. We got our wish, it's Jen Plish.
She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Give him hell, Miss Noel. Ring that bell for Rachel.
She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.